I like Movie Dare.
Oh, you do, huh? Well, that's too bad.
Well, Brandon, what do you have for us today?
Well, Edward, today we are watching House of the Dead. Yeah, we're watching the 2003 movie House of the Dead. Actually, this year is coming up as its 15th anniversary of the movie.
Yay.
15th?
So, 15th, yes. I have seen this movie a couple of times already.
I have seen some of this movie.
Some of the movie.
I did not watch all of it because it's a pile of shit. Only this show would have forced me to watch the entirety of it, so touche.
There we go. There we go. And Cam, you've never seen this.
I have not seen that movie.
Okay.
I'm very excited, though.
I think it's just like a solid 90 minutes of yeah.
Quality terror.
Quality terror, yes. Yeah, so I guess let's just start it up then.
Is everybody good?
I think we're
Good.
I think we're good.
Any final statements they need to make?
Just
shut
think
up.
of any.
Shut up. We're watching this. Okay, insert your shitty comments right here. My God.
I'm feeling a Resident Evil vibe with this.
This was the year after. This is 1 year after Resident Evil.
So he knew.
So he knew. He
What do you
damn
think?
well.
I mean, do you suppose that's why he bought all the rights? Because he saw the success of a couple of these movies and thought, oh, and jumped all over
Yeah,
them?
that's exactly what
Very
happened.
possible.
Yeah.
I came here for a rave, and now all that remains is the rotten smell of death.
I don't know if you caught it, Rick. He came there for a rave.
Came here for a rave.
It's the 90s. Or early 2000s, excuse me.
It's star-studded, by the way.
Nice. So, where are they, dude? We're gonna miss the boat.
Greg and Simon. Greg's the guy I played ball with in college. A good guy, if not.
It's like The Sandlot.
Simon, they say God
This is the sequel to Sandlot.
got the looks.
That's great.
Karma thinks she's Foxy Brown. She has a crush on Simon, but Simon only has eyes for Alicia, my ex. We broke up a few weeks ago so I could study and she could fence. She loves it. I don't see what it's good for.
She can fence.
They're establishing a lot of things. Just come back later in the movie.
Random. She can
Detailed.
fence.
Shit, we're so fucked. They missed the boat to the rave. And then we decided to stay back in Seattle.
And Girls Gone Wild. This clearly was spawned from Girls Gone Wild.
Proud sponsor, Sega.
Dude, have you ever been to a Sega rave? They used to have them all over the place.
Why is Sega hosting a rave?
Hello, sweetie, I'm losing you. Are you there?
Way better than the fucking Konami raves. Those were lame.
Matt, where was it you wanted to take me to?
Yarr.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
This movie's so bad that even Clint Howard, by comparison, is awful in it. His
How is that
act-
possible?
This is like the worst Clint Howard acting ever. That's how good of a director he is. He's like, Clint, I don't know, wing it, man.
Clinton's been in like all of his movies.
$300 out there?
That's Spanish for death. You don't speak Mexican.
Listen, friend, I got the island of cash right here. Some lame attempt.
You just made fun of him for not being able to speak German, now you're making fun of him for not being able to speak Mexican.
Yeah,
he's
this guy's some
he's
slack.
really against non-bilinguals.
Keep the cash. I'm not going. I'm not going. There's evil spirits on that island.
You just get the deck lines and let me worry about the evil
Deck
spirits,
lines?
okay, Sally?
Deck lines.
Deck lines.
You don't know enough about boating to know that that's incorrect. Shut up.
That's very true. That
Just
should
shut
be
the
a
fuck
thing.
up. Did you just pay him another $1,000?
Yeah, so
So we're up to 2K, right?
$2,000 to go to the Sega rave on Island of Death.
Okay.
I don't know much about boating myself, so I don't want to get made fun of for this comment, but I feel like the process of undocking the boat takes much, much, much longer than
Nah, one cord.
Oh.
One cord. Oh, excuse me, deck line. One deck line. That's all you need.
A nice shot there.
That's not a shot.
Yes, they did pay for the helicopter for the day.
Drop me off on the other side of the island.
You want me to radio for backup?
Nah. I think I can handle Victor myself.
I want a boat shot count. I mean, fucking boat
Should have
shots.
started at the beginning. Yeah.
Damn.
We'll go back. We'll edit it.
Gotta be double digits by now.
Seems like a storm's coming up.
So,
That just tells wind direction. I do know enough about just general life to know that that doesn't do shit except, hey, the wind's coming from that direction. And you don't lick it, you actually have to do your whole finger because then you feel where the wind hits your finger.
Ah.
That's why you don't just lick your finger.
Very interesting.
Cut it out! Because I said so.
said so.
Wow.
I think I feel some pain.
The rave has a fuck room off to the side.
Apparently so.
Yeah. The candles are still lit.
A lot of men have these sorts of problems. Honey, here, you idiot! Don't peer in the bushes! The candles are lit. And someone must be home.
She just referred to the torches as candles.
She did, yeah.
You didn't catch that?
Candles are lit.
Oh.
We already tried. It's not working. There's some sort of interference.
Look, I don't know
Zombie
what's going on here,
interference.
Okay, but I do know that I'm going to give you all of this island.
Thrilling action.
And Jurgen doesn't care. He just saw some kid in a Halloween costume, decided to shoot him.
Cut. Okay.
Yeah.
The scene was going on for a second.
You're right.
Quite a bit.
They're ninjas.
He's been there for like 45 minutes in that same tree.
I think that shot was used already.
I think that was the same shot. Adjust.
No, we're building tension. Can you feel the tension? Oh no! Something happened. Jesus.
Oh, it gets better, you guys.
Damn it. I don't want it to get better.
Backflips?
It gets wait. You have no idea what you're in store for. Do you think her real name is Liberty then?
You know, yeah.
Just because she had an outfit on, that was her
Red, white,
rave
and
name.
blue.
Well,
yeah.
often with they come over to this country without names, honestly,
they just-
and so they get. And that's a true story.
Okay.
And so they acquire names, and maybe she wasn't being human trafficked and actually enjoyed being in her country, so she liked the name.
Very long.
Jurgen actually brought the flask to set, and he's just been drinking.
I thought he bit through the shoulder.
No, the zombie got him on.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'll take that. We'll edit that comment out then.
There you go. Just fix it in post. Whoa!
Oh, boat scene.
Different boat.
He's evolving.
From Spain.
Looks like a drunk history episode.
Everything about this scene is bad. The acting is awful. The shots he is showing are awful. The lines are awful. The only thing I'll give him is that at least the lighting is swaying so that we're emulating a ship.
Yep.
That's as good as I can give him, but that is just...
That's not much.
Nope.
Last time you murdered the crew of the San Cristobal,
There's No magazine in that rifle, right?
Neither do I.
Isn't it? Okay, good to know.
Didn't notice that.
Oh no! No, don't do that.
You're not Danny Boyle. You can stop.
Jesus. MTV selfie cam.
Lord of the Rings again?
Yeah.
That's the second Lord of the Rings reference.
Hey, when a bit
No,
works,
seriously.
it works.
This is Lord of the... Yeah, it's a bit.
The Hobbit's hiding from the Black Rider?
Yep.
Yep. He doesn't know how to make his own shots, so he just steals other shots and...
A giant centipede crawls out over his shoulder.
Tell me he had stuff on a twig that entire... Whatever.
Yep, it echoed. Even though the zombies are running around crunching on twigs left and right, they heard that one distinct...
Oh,
You saw the launch pad he just
Yeah.
jumped off.
Oh!
Oh, game over, that guy.
Oh, I get what we're doing. It's a video game.
Somebody died. Yep.
So in other words, whenever they don't feel like paying for an actual action scene, they just cut to the game.
Yep.
God.
There's your Matrix.
That was
guy.
Matrix!
Yeah.
Call that shit!
Yeah.
I didn't think about the Michael Bay spin shot,
Yes.
though. Damn, he hit me with a double right in the row. Come on, give me the Liberty. There it is! Yeah!
Oh, there you go. Oh no.
Ooh, he paid money for that. He paid real Marabucks for that sweet shot.
You don't really know the
Right.
extent of the horde, I guess.
It's true. You see, they're against the ropes. Now they're starting to die.
Right.
The zombies are winning now.
I guess.
So it's turned.
Actually, more of an extensive action scene than I expected.
It is, yeah. It's not a bad action scene. I mean, it's dumb.
Wow.
I'm just here for Liberty at this point.
We all are.
I sure hope that Liberty makes it to this movie.
It's clearly the fan favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
No! No! Not Liberty, you shithead.
The one character you cared about.
Oh.
Wait, did we get a game over screen for her though? We should.
Rudy, you asshole.
Wow.
Fuck you, Rudy.
All Rudy's fault.
Blood Rage?
Flashback.
Oh shit, he's flashing back to the whole movie.
You ever did, just the whole...
Shit.
Oh god, are we really?
Or
Am I having a seizure again, guys? I don't... Are you seeing this? Oh, we're going faster.
it's just the action sequence, it looks like.
It was that great that it showed to us again.
No, she'll come back as a badass zombie. Don't worry,
What
guys.
was the point of that flashback through that one scene?
He was traumatized by everything.
Clearly.
He's got battle fatigue.
To be fair, this has about as much story as the video game does.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
agree
video
with that.
game, so it's...
Exactly. You're supposed to be able to play it in 30 minutes before you go see a movie. So.
Exactly.
Well, I never thought about a black girl. I've been attracted to all these white girls all this time. Huh. How about that? That wasn't so bad.
It was my fault. It was my fault.
The winner for Best Actor.
Did you see it?
Where's Liberty? Bring her back.
Linger on that shot. Are we gonna need that bullet? Anyone
Right,
think?
right.
Let's have a pool. Anyone think that bullet can be relevant at all?
No.
Oh, that grosses you out? There's been like...
Right.
Yeah, I'm just happy that this set is at least nice.
Right.
We got a nice set here. Took some time, built up a little laboratory.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
It looks like a 60s sci-fi movie.
Yep.
See you on Hell, boys.
Smart. Just blow the door off.
Thanks, Jurgen, asshole. You just ruined it for all of us.
Hey, get up Jurgen's ass.
No, now you just fucked up, though.
Yeah.
Blew open the door.
I was wondering if it was going to hit.
Yeah, right. The door is already off. Jurgen blew the door off.
That's a different door. That's the back door.
That was the back door. Moss zombies are kind of cool.
Shut up. How did... Oh my god, how did you... What?
Clearly cannot
Why
handle.
didn't you all just run together? Why did you hang back?
You know what, though? Moss zombies are pretty cool.
They were very...
The moss zombies were kind of cool.
They were very nice looking.
Right, exactly.
But
The jiggle action is real, though.
yes. Bong. Fencing.
There it is.
Remember?
And that is definitely not fencing.
No, it's true. The zombie sword fight. Not many movies have a zombie sword fight.
Oh, it's a new art.
Yes. I don't care, though.
She's still warm. Good movie.
Wow.
Good movie. Jeez, can we stop this so we don't have to hear his music?
You want to hear the 9-minute rap song?
No.
Again?
Nope.
I need that soundtrack in my life.
See you on Hell, boys.
What did everybody think of House of the Dead? The classic action zombie. Some would say thriller. What do you guys think?
Who would say that?
No.
Who would say it was thrilling? No one was on the edge of their seat. Nobody was sitting there going,
I agree. I agree with that.
I said some would say thriller.
Some.
But it has action and zombies. So I got it on that part. So
let's walk through it.
Let's walk through
Kim,
it.
you want to take a shot at?
Sure.
Start off the movie for me.
It's so hard to do. I don't know how much of it was just enjoyable because we were watching it as a whole and commenting on it throughout, and we had a discussion about if we were to rate it, quality versus enjoyment, and how different those two scales would be. And giving it a rating out of 10, I would probably say a 3 or a 4, maybe.
3 or 4, okay, that's not
I
bad.
know we're probably waiting to the end.
Now
to give a final
4.
review.
Okay, so a scale of 1 to 10. 5 usually means you're just okay with it.
Sure.
So 5 is neutral. So you're giving it 1 less than a neutral.
I'll say a 3.
Okay.
Now that you bring that up.
Sorry, I just want to make sure we got this defined correctly.
Sure.
Here.
Yep. It was not really an enjoyable movie for me. If I was by myself or watching at my own personal time, I think the chances are high that I probably would have shut it off early.
Yep.
But there were enjoyable parts, you're right, and I'm not just saying that because I feel like you like this movie a lot more than we do.
Right, not saying it's a great movie. I'm not
Correct,
saying that.
right.
It is a bad movie, but there's something to be said about.
Sure.
I mean, and no one really talks about this movie, is the thing. I mean, yes, everyone considers it to be really bad, but I've seen way worse fucking movies than House of the Dead.
That's forgettable.
Much more.
That's the
It
problem.
is forgettable.
It's garbage. It's
Right.
forgettable garbage.
Right. But I've seen worse movies.
Right.
And it's not the worst
I
movie I've
agree
ever
with that,
seen.
yep.
I mean, I can name 10 movies right now that are way worse than this movie. But I think there is some redeeming qualities.
Sure.
There is, and like I said while we were watching it, it is almost like a B movie. I mean, if it came out 10 years later, it would have been different. And it would have not taken itself so seriously, more tongue-in-cheek. It could have been like, oh, it's like a fun throwback midnight movie. But he tried to make it too serious. He tried to make it an actual movie, and that's where it fell apart.
So you're saying that if it came out a decade later, it would have been better?
Right, I think we would have looked at it different, because
Okay.
by that time, we, as a mass audience, we haven't had the introduction to these B-movie exploitation stuff that, like, when Planet Terror and, the Grindhouse movies came out, and then it took off. I mean, we had Machete, we had these really over-the-top movies, and I think if that would have fallen in that, then it would have been...
Sure.
Did we watch the same movie?
Yeah, we did. Like I'm saying...
Maybe I was having a seizure.
Oh, this is...
I mean, I was having a seizure through this whole movie because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. If any, you want to know why this movie is forgettable? Because it's so goddamn bland.
It is very bland.
No,
It
it's
is.
garbage. Every scene is nothing but a ripoff of other movie scenes.
Right.
Every element of the movie is some stupid element of the early 2000s that, thank
Right.
God, we have forgotten about. What are you...
Right.
Your head is stuck in the 2000s.
Well, no, I don't...
You never grew up, did you? You're like one of those older guys who like looks back on his glory days in the early 2000s, like, man, do you remember when we used to sit around and watch this? Shut up.
Like I'm saying, I'm not saying it's a good movie. It is bad. It's a bad movie. But like what Cam was saying, in that social aspect, like you can make a drinking game out of this. So
Yes.
fucking easy. You take a shot every time a video game screen pops up. Like it's a party movie.
Or a boat.
Or the boat shot.
Let's bring up the boat shot. Brandon,
Okay.
would you please discuss the boat shot?
The boat shot, I guess when we talk about that, is talk about every time that we needed a transition from one scene to the next, we got an aerial boat shot. Almost the same shot every time.
Right here's where I'd like to cut in the boat shot.
Please, cut in
tally of the boat shots. How many boat shots there were?
I mean, there was, at least double digit. At least 10 boat shots
I would
throughout
say
this
so.
movie.
Yeah.
If we could, can we do a montage of the boat
Yes,
shots?
insert montage, please.
Of boat shots.
Of boat shots.
My
here.
favorite one being there's a nighttime boat shot that looks so serene and,
Yep.
and peaceful that I want it hanging above my toilet.
Shades of blue.
But then they did. They evolved. The boat shots evolved through the movie.
Right.
That's true.
'Cause
Yes.
he knew we were getting bored of the boat shots.
How
Did
do we feel about the video game scenes, the actual
Yeah, I mean, that's rough. And even when I first saw the movie when I was younger, I'm like, this is bad. It almost looks like it should... the movie almost looks like it should be a comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Borderline,
Right.
it should be a little funnier. And then maybe... I'm not saying that maybe will make it better, but there are those elements that could work in a comedy. Now, with that said, there is a director's cut of this movie called the funny version. Now, Edward, what did you think? What rating would you give the movie?
I'm gonna give it a 2.
A 2? Okay.
Just because I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling I should give it a
Okay.
1. I'll give it a 2 only because there were a couple sets that I liked.
Right.
And Liberty.
And Liberty, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I was going to
need a
ask us
whole
to discuss Liberty.
Well,
conversation
the
about
only reason why I lean on Liberty is just because she at least had some character.
Yeah.
I
She
mean,
had
they gave her the
something.
big outfit and stuff like that, but in a awful movie with all the all the characters are bland.
Right.
Again, that's the major crime of this movie is that everything is so trite. I guess the only word I can use for it.
It is trite, and it's ripping off other movies.
Yeah, and she's trite too. I don't want to give Liberty credit. No, fuck credit. Or fuck Liberty in general. I don't want to give her credit. But anyway, there were some decent sets, and I get it. He was going for a B-movie feel. But if I'm talking about... Because when we talk about this movie, we have to talk about Uwe Boll, the director,
We do,
because this
yeah.
is entirely his baby. So, fuck him. Because... And I've seen movies that he's done later, and he progressed as a
He got better.
filmmaker.
Yes.
But this was awful. He was lazy. like his shots were lazy. They looked like they were done by a high school video production team.
Right.
He, you telling the story about him digging out the moat. I'm glad he at least cared a little bit, but he was shit. He didn't know what he was doing. The lighting was awful. The sets half time were awful. I don't even want to talk about the plot holes because, well, I mean, first of all, I guess it's pointless to talk about plot holes in a movie like this.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But he didn't care about continuity.
No.
He didn't care about whether any of it made sense from one scene to the next. The fact the swimmers, the fact that they're all Olympiad swimmers. The zombies were never defined at all. I don't understand what the zombies are capable of.
But it looked like there was it almost looked like there was something there, because there was different levels of zombies.
Right.
Like they had an idea. Like some were the new fresh ones. Those were the ravers.
Perhaps a zombie hierarchy.
Maybe.
Oh, I give this a 7. You got me, Cam. It was the hierarchy that did it.
And you had the
You also
conquistador
forgot
zombies.
to touch on the hand-to-hand combat experts.
Oh, they
Right.
Oh, the conquistador
the sweet
zombies.
moves and the
The moss zombies.
The moss zombies. I liked the practical makeup effects.
Oh, yeah.
Even the skeletal things.
Right.
You know, there was a dude in that suit, and that's cool.
That's why I give it a 2.
Right. Because at least
Just a 2.
You're right.
But see, every time you had a moss zombie, you had a shitty latex chunk of glob pop up like it was at a Haunted Mansion at Disney
just to
World,
blow up, right.
and then they just, oh, hey, we blew that up.
Yeah.
And half of the people, I mean, it was just teens who put on a little bit of makeup, and then, oh, you shot me. And they do a cool fallback.
They hired a bunch of people from a haunted house to come out and pretend to be zombies.
Can we talk about the rave?
Yeah,
Can we talk about the fact that Sega sponsored a rave out in the middle of nowhere?
Yes.
First of all, it's on an island out in the middle of nowhere, which, okay, so what is this event? Is this a promotional event for a Sega product? I don't understand. Okay, but regardless, so they go to an island known for being haunted, which I could almost see a promo company doing, so I'm not on its case for that.
Island of
but
Death.
they're in the middle of the island, first of all, instead of being on the nice beach. So why the rave isn't happening
true.
on the beach doesn't make any sense.
True.
And
Yeah.
cutting back to that, I'm all over the place here. Just go with it.
Here you go.
You got Lois Lane swimming out in the water, and the zombies kill that guy right there. So, but are the zombies tactical? Because why didn't they then just also swim out and kill her?
Well,
we've established that they're swimming zombies.
Well, they kidnapped the boyfriend for the shock value later.
Yeah, because they're yucksters. They're funny guys.
right.
They wanted
Exactly.
to prime him up. But why didn't? If they're zombies, they just out for killing, right? Zombies just kill.
Allegedly.
These ones seem to take people
Right.
for the guy to do the Frankenstein shit at the end. He's putting together zombies. I guess that's why he wanted
Yeah, you know
the
what? That's
people.
actually true. They're
Yeah.
almost like his
So-
minions.
so
and they're
he
carrying
can-
out his wishes.
Right.
He mind controls these zombies. Then?
That's what I'm thinking.
Seems
It's
like
almost a
something like
throwback
that.
to those voodoo zombie movies of the 30s where it was one dude controlling all the zombies. Because he's in the woods the whole time watching all this shit.
All right.
Just
unfold.
overseeing it.
See, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. There might have been an actual movie here.
Does he have like telepathic zombie powers?
What? It's voodoo shit. I don't know
Voodoo
how magic.
shit,
I don't know
man.
how fucking black magic works.
He's like Aquaman, but with zombies.
Right. That's kind
got
of
little-
cool. Because they never show it, but that's kind of the idea I got.
And that's why he lured her out of the water, because he needed a fresher body to
He
work
needed
with.
the skin. Because they showed the boyfriend at the end, so we're jumping to the end. He was all skinned, but he was still alive. So, you know, it's like...
I would almost say that you're giving this movie too much credit, but
Yeah.
that actually makes perfect sense.
You're right.
They just didn't touch on that.
They just...
You know what? I'll give you that. All he had to do though was do some actual establishing shot.
That's all you need.
Because
right.
clearly this guy had no idea how to do exposition. Because in the beginning of the movie, he chunks through every damn
in
character
5 minutes.
and it's awful.
It was just the most incorrect exposition.
Yeah,
It was essentially Suicide Squad.
right. But instead of
Just-
wasting your time setting up garbage like that, maybe set up the fact that the Jurgen shipmate could whistle this song, so that we knew what was going on with that.
Right.
Set up the fact that idiot Spanish guy was telepathically controlling zombies.
This is his first video game adaptation.
So what he did, he bought the rights to all these movies. So
At the same time,
he had all he
did.
needed was the money, and he made enough money off of this because it went to theaters and idiots went and saw it, and hooray! So now I can
we
make my
look
next
up
one.
how much it made?
Yeah. I don't think it made its money back.
Budget 12 million, box office $13.8 million.
I knew it was some weird number. Okay.
$1.8 million made off of that.
I was off that number. So.
Didn't you say he also got money from Germany, though, or something? I don't know.
Well, yes. Well, the idea was that he would produce the movie. I think it was after this where he found that there was a loophole where you would make money if your movie lost money. Then you could just make a shitty movie and just reap the reward.
Not suffer consequences from it, right?
Right, exactly. And I think he still owns the rights to a lot of these things. Like, I think he still owns House of Dead and shit. That's why I don't see another House of Dead movie, but...
That's why. Just that.
Well, there was a second one. There's a second one. And 3 Blood Rain movies, let's note. I mean, he's got more of a following than just me.
But he only directed the first one.
He directed all 3 Blood Rain movies.
Shut up.
Fucking dead serious.
Marathon.
Oh god, I got them all, you guys.
Marathon.
I would be willing to watch those.
Okay,
they're terrible. I've seen the first Blood Rain, and it is awful. I'm ranking the movie 2 out of 10. If I were to rank Uwe Boll,
right, 5,
I would get I think he's great. I think he did what he had to do. I think he was crap.
Right.
And he faked it until he maked it, basically.
You gotta give him credit for that.
Yes, he started off as garbage. He did, by doing this, he learned his art form. Mm-hmm. He moved on, and he kept hammering out until he got it right. God bless him, because he does end up making good movies.
Eventually, yeah.
And I've seen interviews of him, and he's funny as hell. He's a good guy. So I'm not giving him grief, but I am giving this grief. And I guess I'm saying fuck you to young Uwe Boll, because he was a fuckwit. I'm glad that he became something better.
That's fair. Yeah, and he does. He ends up making more personal movies as it goes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's any director who needs to learn. I mean, not everyone can start with Memento, and
right.
just go from there. Not everyone can do that.
Wait, Memento's your go-to on that?
Well,
I was starting with a good movie.
Is that not? That's, yeah.
You're saying Chris Nolan is our hero?
Hey.
No, see, I'd argue that Chris Nolan pulled a reverse Uwe.
He did. He got worse as it went. Do you think this will ever reach cult status? I mean, it's been 15 years. I mean, I love this movie, and it's a big movie to me. It's schlocky crap.
You want to know why I know that it won't? Because idiots like you have been showing it to everybody that they can, and it still hasn't.
That's
so
true.
Fuck off.
But you honestly don't see people talk about this one.
No,
Do you think it'll hit?
How long? What's the average length of time it takes for a movie to reach cult status?
Well, it's all
depends, right?
It all depends.
Because something has to happen.
I mean, Jesus Christ, when The Shining came out, it took 30 years for people to go, oh, The Shining is a great movie, by the way.
And now everyone
people are
thinks that
fucking
is
wrong
the
all the
best horror
time.
movie.
I'm not saying this is a good movie.
Right.
But I'm saying the general audience is always wrong. Blade Runner was hated like a motherfucker until 15 years ago, maybe.
Right.
Could we just be clear that you just tried to compare this to The Shining? I don't ever want you to talk about this in the same sense as The Shining ever.
I'm not comparing it to The Shining.
Good.
I'm just saying that he asked how long it'll take to age.
Okay.
It's like a wine. It'll just keep going.
Sure.
It's not stupid enough to be funny stupid. It's not
good enough.
I laughed at this.
It's not. You said it's Valerian level exposition of the characters.
Yes. And okay, very good example. That came out fucking last year. 2 years ago.
You saw Valerian?
I did.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And it did. It had that level of exposition.
Would you please quote your favorite exposition in Ballerina?
It was in the very beginning.
Ballerina?
Valerian.
Valerian. I wasn't going to say anything, but...
There's that scene where they've established the characters, and he says to her, he's trying to pick her up.
Right.
And he's like, hey, I'm just an intergalactic bounty hunter bad boy. I don't know love. And I'm like, Jesus, let me figure this out. This movie's not pretending to have characters. At no point is it like, hey.
Well, that's why... No. That's why he had to do that scene in the beginning, because he knew that there wasn't
nothing.
There was no other action or defining character scenes in the entire movie.
No,
so there was no way to ever get their characters revved up, because there's no substance in this fucking movie.
No.
So that's why he had to do that. In fact, he probably never even had that scene. But then he went and he watched back the entire movie. He's like,
I need something.
These characters are useless pieces of shit. I know, I'll make a scene where we actually describe them as horrible one-dimensional characters.
Give them something.
No.
And then you have that one random moment where the entire movie flashes before our characters' eyes.
I'm still
And
bothered
is
by
that,
that.
I think that was character development, because then he gets all mad. I could be wrong on that one, though.
Well, he barely even goes into beast mode, though.
Kind of beast mode.
I feel like it would have been more effective to show flashbacks of Liberty
Before the
during
battle.
her good, right,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
not just of that sequence, like
You could have even used that to establish the rave a little bit better.
right.
Go back to where we didn't. Yeah,
Right.
the rave
Scenes
stuff.
that-
Oh, it's kind of like that. You know, this movie reminds me of that fire festival that they had, and they went there and there was nothing there but tents and empty tents and no
Oh.
food. It's kind of like House of the Dead. I don't know if you heard about that.
No,
I do know about
Remember
this.
that?
And
it was called the
there's
Fire Festival, I think. Did
It is
Sega
very
not
similar.
scout that island before setting up? I mean, they must have had to get
I love that
permission.
we're still assuming that it's the Sega. That's
It's actually all Sega's fault, if we really think about it.
Fuck Sega.
that's true because yeah, that's,
They held the rave, they brought everyone, they didn't scout for zombies.
Where were the Sega execs? I mean, because if you're having a rave, you do have execs there. You have people running the show.
That's what I'm saying, right.
There was, and I mean, there wasn't even like, if you're gonna have a promotional rave, there's not even a camera crews.
right.
There is no. Okay, and I want to get back to the island here. The problem with this island, okay, so Conquistador guy took over this island.
Yes.
I don't know when. Pick a year.
It was sepia tone ago.
Was it 1700s? I don't.
Whenever-
Are you just saying numbers?
late 1700s.
Does anybody here know any fucking history at all?
Judge? Yeah, I mean, I was estimating it based on the appearance of the ship.
Very scholarly of it.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
so
no boats.
I just let's say since
Maybe I'm being overly analytical with this movie here at this point. But
well, and I mean, who knows how well his costuming and his I'm sure he didn't know what he's like. I don't know. Whenever ships went over water and stuff, and they wore conquistador helmets and shit.
Yeah, and the guy just had basic Captain Crunch pirate shit on. Just
You're the captain making it happen.
the captain. Yeah.
Yep. So since they've been there, anyone that's come to this island, we have to assume, has died. And so, and enough to the point that it's gotten this reputation
Sure.
as being
Yeah.
the Morte Island, whatever the hell it's called. So,
Clint Howard, what was it called? He'll tell us right now.
You know what they call this island? Isla del Morte.
Morte. That's Spanish for death. In case you don't speak Mexican.
got it.
Got it.
Okay, Mort's Island.
Mort's Island, yep.
So, and this has been happening to the point that this legend has continued.
Yeah.
And no one has ever investigated this island. Ever.
No.
There's never been a team of people that went over there to look at it.
Yeah.
No one, and this guy, and you have all these ship guys, and ship guys love mysteries because that means there's buried treasure and shit all over this island. So they would have been all over this. So after, and go into, hell, the 70s, 80s, somebody had to have gone to this island, gone missing, and somebody would have went to check out the goddamn island.
Right.
And then once enough people have disappeared, there would have been teams
that could be a cool movie where you just have a bunch of, you just go through the years of people landing, getting murdered,
Yeah, I
then
want you to-
sinking the boats,
What
and there's
you're-
just boats
I want you to
underneath.
explain this away.
what you're saying right now is you want a prequel to House of the Dead?
This is what I'm...
This is a prequel to the game. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Well, and more importantly, so they also said that apparently all of the people there, the entire pre-rave, we'll call it the pre-rave, or the actual rave, I don't know, the day rave, I don't know what we're calling it. The day rave party all came over on the same fucking boat, which is just gone now. They don't explain why.
They did say the boat left, and it was just gone.
The
but they didn't
boat left.
explain
So
why.
it was a party cruise.
Probably.
A big party cruise came out, dropped off everybody, including
and
the
bolted.
sound system, all the food, all the execs. Everything was dropped off.
Yep.
They all...
Port
They had to
bodies.
set up the sex
The
tents.
porta potties, yes, the porta potty team.
That was a whole different company had to do that.
And how-
That's not
Different
cheap.
boat then.
I mean, there's not even docks here though. So how did they port the porta potties off the port of the?
That's true. Yes. That's
None
true.
of this makes any fucking sense. And I know that I'm overthinking a shit movie. I get that you're not supposed
Right.
to do that. But it gets to a point though where you're just like, my suspension of disbelief just doesn't go with it anymore. I can't follow this.
And then I guess we
Definitely
should
did
talk
not.
about the 10-minute action sequence with the 10-minute long rap song that was acquired or
Yeah.
attached to it. Clearly, this where most of the money went. You can kind of tell. But that's really at that scene is where the movie takes a turn for B. It's where it starts. It starts off as a C movie where you're real low grade. You're like, man, this is rough. and then when you get to the comical Matrix action scene, is where you go, oh, okay, I kind of see it shifts. You can kind of see it takes a slight curve. And you go, we're going to be a little more campy with it.
Okay.
But it fails. It should have been camp the whole thing. It just took itself way too seriously.
Yeah, that really hits it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you start the movie with douche,
right,
like a douchey teen movie. You then go to full-blown camp, and again, we talked about this, how he throws in every transition just like he's just shotgun makeuping this whole thing.
Right.
We go to camp, and then we leave camp, we go to serious romance and meaningful dialogue, and then we go to just, his attempt at straight-up horror, the tunnel scene with the moth zombies is him trying to be like legit horror. He's taking a very somber tone here.
Even the laboratory scene too.
Well, he's trying to be smart with the laboratory scene. Like, we're trying to have science in this shit. So, look through this microscope. Oh, it's blood.
It's blood. It's different blood.
I remember blood from biology class, okay, I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what movie he's making. And which is why the whole thing ends up being a shit show.
Exactly. And now the house itself. I guess we should talk about the house.
It's not a house.
It's not a house. I mean, it looks really small from those aerial shots.
It does.
But when they go in, they clearly shot cheap because they're like, oh, let's go to this room and then this room. They're clearly just sets. We're just moving from one set to another.
Right.
Because maybe if they would have done more of the house stuff, and it could have become more of a Night of the Living Dead thing where you can kind of do the character. That's where you should have done character.
Right.
Like, give me this 30 minutes of crap, 45 minutes, and give me something in there, maybe.
It doesn't
try to communicate with somebody.
It doesn't make sense that when you go into the house, the zombies all back off, and we lose all tension that we've mounted up.
Because you had the 9-minute action scene where they're just hounding them.
Right.
And then they get in the house and they just disperse.
They're like, oh, fuck it, what are we going to do now?
But it's the voodoo that he pulls them back. Because they're in the house, they're in my fucking house. I don't need, I lured them there. That was the plan the whole time.
They could be wrecking his shit up. Why would he want them in there wrecking his shit?
Because he wants their skin. Don't you remember the I want your skin line? And he licks her in the ear. And
licks her in the ear.
It's this scene. Right there. It's on the back.
Did you say the rear or the ear?
I think it's the ear.
Okay.
I didn't see the director's cut.
Okay. No, that might be different.
That's a different movie. That's the porn parody.
I was going to mention that too. I mean...
The porn parody?
No. No. Not yet, anyway.
House of the Dead.
I mean, the title, House of the Dead, obviously the game. Right. You would assume that, and maybe I'm, again, being too over-analytical here, that a majority of it would take place
in a house.
Or indoors, at least. And I think that would have been much more effective.
It was more of an Island of the Dead.
It was just like, they kind of just blew it all right there, you know what I mean, by that whole battle, and then they decided to go in the house, and it was almost like the last, third or quarter of the movie that took place in there, and it was just the resolution, I guess.
Yeah, and then once you get there, they start blowing the shit up anyway.
Right.
They don't want you to focus on the house too much.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was the main zombies' plan? Was it, because he's putting together bodies, and he's building...
He wanted a skin suit.
He just wanted a skin suit,
which he had at the end. He just wanted he just wanted to be. Oh, right. That's right. It was immortality. That's right.
No, that's just a good point though, because he wanted to be immortal.
Yes.
Which he already was.
Which he is already.
He's fine. He's got his own island. He's got a hot bunch of zombies doing whatever he wants.
Why does he need more flesh?
Okay, so he wants more flesh. So maybe he's got to rejuvenate his flesh suit, which would make sense because why else is his face all carved together like that?
Right.
He never had his face cut up.
But you think with immortality.
I don't know, man, because this is shitty.
Maybe he's immortal, but his skin
here we go again,
and he needs more skin.
No. Well, maybe he is maybe he is Buffalo Bill, and he just wants to feel sexy, man. Maybe he's just fucked in the head. So anyway, what I understand though is he's looking at Tits McGee there, thinking, "Hey, I'll get her skin." You just had a whole rave party full of skin.
Full of skin.
Well, did you
I never rated it.
You never.
Because I liked the movie. I don't have to rate it. I'm the host.
So yours probably wouldn't change?
You fucking rate the movie.
No, yours had the possibility of changing just after hearing our opinion.
That's very true.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah, you rate the movie now, jerk.
What would you have given it before the conversation?
Before the conversation, I would say it would be a 7.
This is not good action. This is not interesting to look at. Even the boobs weren't very good most of the time. there is no redeeming quality where I can sit and go like, oh, this is entertainment, or entertainingly bad. Nothing. You're wrong.
Nothing.
There's nothing in here.
It's my score, though. It's my score. And if I want to say it's a 7, it's a fucking 7. There's nothing you can do about it because that's my score.
We're flipping the table in the first
I still think, after all said and done, I still think it's a 7. My score has not gone up or down. It's still about the same as when I watched it 15 years ago.
You'll think of my words when you go to bed at night, and you'll think, yeah, he's right. Jesus, that movie's terrible. He was right. He was right all along. Would you, I guess the bottom line is, to end this up, would you, Cam, recommend this movie either as a party movie to somebody, to a loved one,
some capacity.
In any capacity?
I would say no. Maybe. I'm trying to think of a situation in which it might fit. And maybe if there's absolutely nothing else to do and you want to watch a movie and make a drinking game out of it, perhaps this will work.
So, I would not.
You would not.
Okay, so, obviously, as just sitting around watching a movie, no. As a late night, I'm really bored, I would rather flip to The View and insult them. And because them, I can at least just go, well, I hate you, you're making me angry, shut the fuck up, Simone, whatever.
I would recommend it at least once. Just a one watch. I mean, because if anything, it's an interesting piece of film history. I mean, it will go down. No, because it's going to go down as one of the worst movies ever made. And that is, as much as you don't want to admit, that's film history. Everything this guy did, Uwe Boll has ingrained himself into the museum of movies. I mean, whether it's Ed Wood level bad. I mean, we're talking about bad directors who will just become famous for being awful. And this is part of that.
So we're going to disagree on this. But I think we can all agree that we should end this whole episode sailing off on the clear blue sea with another ship montage.
Another boat shot, because we did not get an end boat shot.
We need some end boat shots. Good night, everybody!
Bye, boats.
Maintain speed and distance. I don't want him to make us. Yeah.
그대만 보여. Maybe you. 널 바라만 봐도 내 맘이 자꾸 떨려와. 좋아한다는 말을 못해서 어떡해. 말하지 않아도 두근대는 맘 들킬까. 혹시 그대인가요 단 한 사람. Maybe you, maybe you. 어떡하죠 어떤 말로 표현할 수 없는 이 맘. 모든 걸 다 줄 수 있을 만큼